Hello and welcome to Trend Maker or TR3ND Maker. My name is Alex and today we're going to do a super fast review of this LG 27UL500 4K monitor, and that's coming up right now. Alright, so let's see what's included with this monitor. Okay, to start off, it looks like we have an HDMI cable as well as a DisplayPort cable. So this should pretty much connect up to any computer. I like that both cables are included in this. We have the power supply and cable attachment to that. Nice thick cable with the ground. That's nice and convenient. We have a couple of screws. I'm assured that this is for mounting of the actual stand. We have all the typical included paperwork here, the monitor, instructions, the warranty card, display assurance report, and a disc which is just sort of flopping in here, which is kind of interesting that they haven't bagged that in any way. We have the actual mounting stand, and this actually feels like it's got some metal in it, so that's nice that this isn't just all plastic. It actually feels pretty substantial. And we have the actual upper post for the stand. And it looks like this is just sort of a decorative cap to go over probably the mounting screws, which we'll get to in a minute. And let's see what's inside. And looks like, yep, this is the actual panel right here, and it actually has a pretty good weight to it. Tell you what, let me go ahead and get rid of the box here and bring this all out, and let's sort of set this up. Now that I have everything laid out here, it looks like the assembly of the actual stand is going to be super easy and really only require a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so we're going to take the arm for the stand, and that's basically just going to lay on top here, and it actually sort of tension fits in there, and then we'll throw in our two mounting screws, which should take only a few seconds. And this will sort of done. And take a look. Can I get rid of this? And there it is. Alright, so we've got our stand together. Let's go ahead and hook it up and let's see what it looks like. I have been using this LG 27UL500 monitor for about 2 weeks now, and I want to sort of give you my overall impressions of this monitor, what I think of it, and whether I think it might be a good fit for you, especially at this sort of $300 price point. Okay, so this is LG's sort of entry-level 4K monitor that they're offering. I think that they really did a good job with the R&D in the actual IPS panel. I think the panel here is exceptional. There's no dead pixels. I'm not really noticing any major light leaks along the edges, which you often see in a lot of monitors. At least nothing noticeable under normal applications. I don't see like a lot of color banding. It's got a really nice contrast ratio of 1,000 to 1. I find that the text is super sharp, and I think the colors are actually really pretty accurate, so I'm really happy with that aspect of it. I'm primarily using this for daily, internet, emails. I'm using some business applications like Word and QuickBooks, and I really am appreciating that extra fine, larger, sharp text. It's really a lot easier on my eyes. I feel like I can sit behind my computer a lot longer without sort of needing a break. I've also done some graphics editing using Affinity Photo, and actually I feel like the colors were really accurate. I was able to enlarge things really nicely and keep it nice and sharp. I've really been happy with that. I've done some video editing in 4K with Final Cut Pro, and having the extra large real estate down here for the timeline is just amazing. I have more room for some of my tools and some of the things that I'm using in there. Overall, going to this 27-inch monitor is something that I really wish I had done several years ago. I really have sort of missed the boat on that. I've been using a 24-inch 1080p monitor for quite a few years now, and honestly, I just, do I really need it? I really needed it. Jump to that 4K, man. It's really, if your computer can handle it, you should definitely do it. It's a major difference. Now, what I like about it. So that's sort of basically the things I like about it. It's overall, I think the image, the quality here is really good. A couple things I don't like about it. And they're kind of minor and superficial. One, I think this bezel here, to me, just feels a little cheap. I'm not super happy. It's not like it's bad. It doesn't really bother me, but it's just a little fit and finish. It just doesn't look as nice as maybe like some of the Dells or something like that. Some people complain about the menu system here. Now, on most monitors, you usually have 4 or 5 buttons here which you can flip through. And honestly, I hate those things. I'm never hitting the right button when I'm trying to adjust something. At least it takes me a few seconds to sort of figure out what I'm doing here. This is actually really nice. You go right to the LG. There's a little button here. It's a little joystick. You get a little menu. You push the direction you want to go. You can go scroll through your settings. You can zip over. You can zip out. I honestly think it took about 2 minutes to figure that thing out, and now it's just wing, boom, 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 boom. Now, I really don't adjust my monitor on a regular basis. A graphics designer might want to come in here and tweak things regularly, depending on what they're doing. But for me, I sort of set it, forget it, done. Not an issue. Now, the biggest gripe I think that some people may have with this, it doesn't really apply to my application, is the actual stand itself. Now, although this portion is really great, the way it mounts to the actual monitor is pretty bad. A little bump and this thing just vibrates forever. If you have like kids running around on a hardwood floor or something like that and you're getting a little vibration in your floor, this thing will be shaking all over the place. It's really not well mounted, and I really do think that this particular model, the 27UL500 model, was designed to use on an articulating arm or some sort of multi-monitor arm system, and that's actually what I'm using it for. So to me, this really doesn't apply. But you can see on the back here, the way this mounts sort of low onto the monitor, it's just a leverage thing. It doesn't really hold it well. But the good news is, there is an LG 27UL550. Now that is the exact same panel, and the only difference is now it actually comes with a much more substantial mount system, and it hooks to the Visa mount, and that one actually tilts like this one, but also you can raise and lower, I think about 4.5 inches, 5 inches, something like that. So you can raise and lower, and it's sort of tension based, so you just lift it up, stop, and it's done. There's no really adjusting. Definitely if you're looking at setting this on your desk, you want to go to the 550. I wouldn't buy this one. Now, if you're going to mount it up in the air or on some sort of arm or mounting system, I would go with this one to the Visa mount. Save the money. Because that one is about $50 more. Sometimes you see it a little less on sale, and I actually have seen it before where there's only like $15 difference when one's on sale or not. Yeah, some people may not like the white. I primarily use Apple computers, so the white complements the Apple well, so it doesn't really bother me. But it may bother you. Some people like black or silver. It's pretty standard these days. So overall, do I like this monitor? I actually really do, and I think at this entry-level price point, it's really great. Is this for you? I don't know. Let me just go through who I think it is for and who it's not for. If you're coming from a 1080p monitor and you're trying to keep on a budget and you just sort of want to do a little upgrade to your computer for whatever reason, I think it's great bang for the buck. Definitely bang for the buck. It's going to be hard to beat anything in this price point. In fact, the stats on this are actually comparable to some monitors in the $500 price point. Now, their fit and finish might be a little nicer, but overall, the actual panel itself is about the same. Is this for a professional graphics designer? Well, it depends on your sort of budget. If you're sort of part-timer or you're not really sure what you're doing, you'd probably be fine with this monitor. However, if it's your primary bread and butter and you're a professional, you may want to jump up to a $500,000, $800,000 monitor. You'll probably get a little bit better quality. You'll probably get a little bit more options on, a little sharper, a little more distinction in the colors, higher contrast ratio, things like that. I think you might be better suited for that. Now, that being said, if you have a multiple monitor setup and you have like your primary really nice monitor that you use for daily applications, you're looking for a monitor to do word processing and to watch a video while you're working and things like that, this as a secondary monitor would be absolutely ideal. Okay? I think for just general purpose business applications, I think this is a great bang for the buck. Now, is this for gamers? If you're playing Minecraft or sort of like not really graphics intensive games, I think you'd be fine with this monitor. If you're playing things like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, racing games of that nature, I think you will be better suited probably actually going to a 3K monitor with a much higher refresh rate. This is a 60 refresh rate. You might want to go to something around a 120, and maybe you want a response time of like 2 milliseconds, where I think this one is 5. So it's not for everybody, but I think for my application, especially coming from that 1080p, like, I really am just like, why didn't I buy one of these like 5 years ago or 3 years ago? I probably would have paid more, of course. I think they've really come down in price where you can actually get a really solid monitor for a good price point. So that's it. I definitely would say for the average user, someone doing a little graphics, a little video editing, music editing, things like that, wants YouTube, wants to watch movies, I think you're really going to be happy with this. If you're a professional graphics designer, video editor, something like that, and it's in your budget, you know, go ahead and I probably get into the $500 or $800 price point, and you probably can get a little bit better monitor. I'd like to wrap up by saying that I think this is a really great entry-level 4K 27-inch monitor, and I think you'd be really hard-pressed to find a monitor that is actually better than this one at this price point. There may be some different features, or maybe different color scheme, or different like the fit and finish, but I don't think you're going to find a monitor that actually has a better IPS panel. I think that that's where this one really LG spent its energy and money, is actually on the IPS panel. It's really great. The picture looks fantastic, and I would definitely put that part of this on par with some of the more expensive monitors, maybe even up to the $500 price point. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. This is actually my first review I've ever done on this channel. So I'd really love your feedback. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. It keeps me nice and motivated to produce more content for you. And until the next one, I'm out.